up when used. We also found that risk is dynamic and attack surface is static. That was another thing. We found that risk was too biased and too ugly to use for security. Okay? Because there was a loser. And because everybody thought something different. So for example, you find a vulnerability, but that vulnerability might be horrible for one guy, but not for you. I'm sure some of you have done this where you've gotten a vulnerability report that says that this service is bad, but you know for a fact it isn't, because that scan is relying on just blind information and not knowing which controls you already have in place. That's part of the problem. You might have controls in place that the scanner doesn't know about. It's only looking at the version, for example. And so they're going to base risk differently. I have better examples if you want to talk to me later about that, but I don't want to get into it. But I just want to show you for a second. So we looked at this by saying, okay, look at this idyllic setting, you know, nice family out here in the beautiful, you know, twilight. And no vampires, sorry. They're here. These human beings, what is their risk to injury at this point? I think most of you would say close to zero, right? I mean, it doesn't look like anything bad's going to happen. Just go with me here as a story, honestly. It's close to zero. These human beings, their attack surface, if somebody was going to attack them in this idyllic scenario, what is their attack surface? Probably close to 100%. If you're going to attack them, there's not much they could do about it. They would die. Okay? And that's it. In the next scenario, you take these same people, you put them in a war-torn area. Okay? What is their risk of injury? It goes way up, right? What is their attack surface? Absolutely the same. It doesn't change. Okay? And so that was something else we found. Attack surface doesn't change. So if we could count all this stuff, and we could measure these things, and we could find the attack surface, which we have been able to, we had something static regardless of how the environment changed. Which was interesting, because once you knew the environment, and you measured the environment, you would be able to do this, and you'd be able to move things around, and you could even figure out what the attack surface prevention of a product is before you bought it and put it in place. Because you knew the environment. And you would just be combining the math, the numbers. Okay, there's only 3 types of interactions with a target. Visibility, access, and trust. I talked about before, only 2 ways to steal something, access and trust. But the 3 types of interactions, there's one more. There's visibility. That doesn't actually help them take anything. And that's exposure. That's somebody having opportunity.